Welcome back, everyone, as we get ourselves into our third and final best of one. Moving through the group stage, getting ourselves ready and raring to go here as this match. This will be an interesting one. We've had an upset. We've had, the CIS Classic between two squads. Tell me about this game, Lacoste.
We have LFY and Mineski. This should be a close game, in my opinion. Both of the teams are kind of on equal skill level, if you're asking me. LFY just maybe... I didn't see actually LFY play for quite some time, but I think this patch should favor them. Also, Shadow Demon, one of the heroes that has been under my radar for quite some time. I see that Vici Gaming picked it against OG, and now I see Mineski grabbing it. Like, this hero is strong in the dual lane, especially if you pair it up with something that has a stun. Also scales well. His ulti purges constantly, so this is a huge buff that he received.
And Mineski play this hero a lot against IO in particular, but they've banned the IO and they've picked the Shadow Demon, so they obviously still feel that the hero is strong. But out comes the Warlock, and this is one of those age-old classics. Back when we used to see Shadow Demon Luna all the time, was it TI qualifiers last year, and the kind of 2 months preceding that, it was just SD Luna every game. And then the Chinese teams figured out that Fatal Bonds is a pretty good spell at clearing illusions and dealing with them. Will definitely be a thorn in their side. And so far, Mineski with a pretty versatile hero in the Clockwork, but LFY showing pretty much a core and a support.
Yeah, Clockwork can be played as position 4 or a second support, whatever you want to call him, and can be played as an offlaner. Already a good target. Warlock has no escape mechanism whatsoever, so that's kind of a secured kill. Clockwork also naturally builds into a Blade Mail, which is the best item against the Dead Prophet besides Spirit Vessel. So uncontrollable damage. Again, even though they picked a Warlock, they do not want to play against Shadow Demon and Luna, which they think it's strong. As you mentioned, that could be the reason why they picked the Warlock. Also gives them team fight potential with just these two ultis. Combine Fatal Bonds with something else.
LFY's turn to ban.
Maybe they should ban out the Gyro inside of Mineski if they don't want to play it. Gyro, combine it with the Fatal Bonds. That's really ton of the damage.
You were talking about how we've not really seen much of LFY recently. Their last, competitive games, kind of on record in a decent-sized tournament, GESC, almost a month ago, when they were taken down by Keen Gaming. LFY, they've got a way to go. They're definitely not up there with the rest of China. They're kind of in that tier 1.5. You've basically got Newbie and LGD up at the top. Maybe Vici Gaming slides in there, and LFY are still trying to find their little niche as they get themselves into this.
Yeah, but when I said that they're on equal skill level, that's when, if LFY plays their full potential. Otherwise, I would give it to Mineski. So a lot of time for them to think, more than 2 minutes.
And what are we looking towards?
I mean, when you see a Warlock, you can just try to evade team fights and pick heroes that have low cooldowns, so you can fight all the time, especially when there's a Dead Prophet as well, so you have more than 2 minutes to fight.
I mean, the one hero I always hate playing against is a PA, but we never see PA in comp games, right? Very, very rarely. I should never say never, but we very rarely see PA. Just the fact that you can, remove Warlock before he ultis, kill the Golem. I mean, even here against the DP wouldn't be too bad, but I don't know, slotting Phantom Assassin into a draft always feels a little bit wonky, unless you have something like a Magnus, let's say, which we have seen Secret do in the past.
Yeah, but if you pick 4 big ulti cooldowns, then you can pretty much fight all the time. You're going to have 2 of them ready.
Ulti cycling. Use one, keep the other, save it for a rainy day. Now, looking at this game, I feel like Slark is becoming a higher and higher priority pick. Against Clockwork, Dragon Knight, you've got that way to escape, jump in and out of fights, stack up the Essence Shift, and LFY could reasonably be looking towards it, but for now, of course, we'll be looking towards the off lane and the remaining support pick there as Tusk is grabbed up
Yeah, they need one more stun, in my opinion. Something that offlaner provides for LFY. Otherwise, they're just gonna run away. Tusk is a good stun, reliable. With Snowball, you have also ulti that goes through the BKB, so that's a kind of a solution. If Mineski wants to play a split push game, there's always a Tusk who can just TP and the Walrus punch you. Pango.
Ice, Pango. That's going to be big. Just going back, what one pick. I like the progression there from Mineski. They banned the Lycan, so there isn't the ulti-cycling for tower pushing that Chinese teams have loved for like the past 2 years, where like you pop a DK ulti, kill tier 1, pop Exorcism, kill tier 2. We used to see it from Terrorblade, Dragonite, Lycan, Death Prophet, but they banned the Lycan and then pick the DK, so that LFY have fewer ways to really ramp up their draft and get those tower pushes going. It's a bit of a snipe pick from Mineski, but of course it does fit nicely into their draft themselves.
Yeah. The reason why they banned out Puck is because they have a Warlock, which doesn't provide you any kind of a control, and when you see a Tusk as well, most of the teams also love to pick Puck, because you can just dodge his spells, you can go over the ice shards. That's the reason why they picked the Pango. Like, if he snowballs into you, you can just run away. His snowball is gonna stop, you can run over with the shards with 2 of your spells. So that's the hero that I was talking about, that they need more control, so they can't just run away from them. Also, good way to set up a Dead Prophet ulti damage. So now you have, Gary, 3 big ulti cooldowns. They just need 1 more.
You sure do. They just need. Let's go Zeus. Let's pick a Zeus in here. Let's get the big ultis going. The double ultis from Zeus with a Nimbus. It's so good with Fatal Bonds, it's fun. But, I mean, picking Void into Shadow Demon often feels relatively risky. The fact you do have that disruption to either save someone or keep the Void from damaging your allies inside the Chrono. You also potentially have those cogs to annoy the Faceless Man. I'm liking the way Mineski have set themselves up here for this final pick. LFY... I mean, they've got tower push, they've got team fight. I'm just not sure about how their lanes are going to go. I think Tusk has got a lot on his plate to roam around and make things happen, or at the very least, solidly plant himself in a lane and win a lane for one of his players. Whereas Mineski feel a lot more fluid with what they can do with their heroes. Faceless Void is that 4th pick for them. Needs a lot of levels. Needs that Chrono to come up early. Look for these team fights, but... final band's coming out now. What are we looking at for Mineski? Gyro band, like you mentioned, does finally come out.
Yeah, they don't want to play against it. It would make a lot of sense for LFY to pick it. I'm not sure if it's going to be a safe lane Faceless Void or an off lane. They could pair up Tusk with something that has a lot of kill potential. Shadow Demon is... not that of a strong lane. He is strong in 2 versus 2, but depend on the matchup that he's playing against. If you, let's say, combine something like a Dragonite. Dragonite could be also a good gap closer for them, and it runs well with the Centaur. Or, okay, so even more control. Oh, another big ulti cooldown. So
damn right.
I mentioned 4. Here we have 4, Gary.
Whew.
So Tusk and the Brewmaster. Like, Shadow Demon can't really zone out the Brewmaster from the lane. Maybe they're just gonna give Pango a little bit of time on the bottom lane and rotate the Clockwork. So they need a safe lane hero that does well against the Brew and a Tusk.
And brings a lot of damage to the table.
Yeah, because they have no burst damage whatsoever. Everything they have is pretty much damage over time. They need the ultimate... carry, something that scales well, but is also good in the laning stage.
Is there a hero you could slot in towards mid that maybe fits that? Like if you have a safe lane DK, off lane Pangolier, and run these dual lanes, and then you pick something different for the mid lane?
I don't think they want to have Dragonite plus whatever Dragon Shadow Demon against Brewmaster and Tusk. Dragonite's not going to have fun in that lane, and they don't have a kill potential.
True. There's just no kill
unless
power
Clockwork rotates. I'm already liking the LFY's lineup a lot.
You just like big ultimates, mate. Just want to see some big ultis cast.
Okay, so here's the ultimate carry that I mentioned. They needed something that scales well. Anti-Mage is not the best hero against the Faceless Void, but he does the same job as Shadow Demon Luna at one point. You have a Mantis style, you have more illusions from a Shadow Demon. So primarily target should be for a Faceless Void to catch a Shadow Demon. Unless he can catch Anti-Mage and Shadow Demon is out of position, or Brewmaster is going to be the one controlling the Shadow Demon in the backlines with his ulti. A lot of save coming out from LFY. You have Panda Split, you have Faceless Void who can just use a Time Walk. Death Prophet, really tanky hero in the team fights. You need a lot of time to kill her. You have a Warlock with the heal, also save ulti, and we all know what the Tusk can do.
I've got to say, Mineski do have a number of heroes that will be hard to kill, though, right? DK is going to be difficult to bring down. Sure, you've got Fatal Bonds and Spirit Siphon, but you might end up just cycloning him in the team fights. And we've seen Ice with his Pango builds go very utility-focused. You know, Blink, Lincoln's, Pipe, Crimson Guard, Solar, whatever it might be. He doesn't often go for damage, and he definitely doesn't go for the triple javelin nonsense that we see in our pub games. But I feel like maybe this game he has to potentially adapt and get himself at least, you know, a little bit of damage output to be able to find these kills. I'm not sure if him just staying alive is going to be enough. But away we go. Best of one, LFY up against Mineski. And already LFY is setting themselves up for a bit of a rundown bottom lane. Going to get into that Radiant jungle early on.
And we have a first tip.
Beautiful stuff. There we go. Brotherly love.
Everyone tipping Ahfu.
Yeah, Ahfu, of course, ex-Southeast Asian player, knows Mineski very well, as he used to play for Warriors Gaming. And Mineski used to play them quite a lot, scrim partners for quite some time. Mushi Anti-Mage will get hit by the shards, trapped in for now, and the blink is forced. I think the last time I saw Mushi Anti-Mage was freaking... Well, the last time I cast Mushi Anti-Mage was Epicenter 2 years ago? Three years ago? Whenever it was, the first Epicenter. And he went for an Ethereal Blade. Which
alright, I just hope that does not happen. This is not an Ethereal Blade game. They have no follow-up magical damage at all. Like, zero magical damage lineup.
I definitely agree with you. This has to be Anti-Mage 1 versus 9. Carry the game, boys. Ice, bit of pressure onto Monet as Jabs has swapped across the heroes. Ninja Boogie started on the clockwork to give the cosmetics, it looks like. Mushi going to go in to try and grab the bounty. Who's the faster clicker? It is Mushi who comes out on top. So triple bounties there for Mineski to start things off.
Yeah, they dealt a lot of damage to Mushi. He's going to even bring more tangos because of the rune that he picked up. Okay, no, he just sold it.
He wants his Quelling Blade. He's already got 6 tangos. You've got 3 over on Ninja Boogie, so yeah, wanting more is a little bit greedy there. Moon with the glyph in the mid lane. That's what it's for, right? There's nowhere else. Yeah, it's going to be mid lane, so his creeps get tanked up. Super only gets 1 CS so far from the first 4 creeps, and I don't think he can get this one either, no. It looks like Dragonite is going to come out on top in that first wave exchange. As top lane, Ahfu and Monet hunting Ice, but he's a sneaky bugger, and he's going to swashbuckle himself down, but now caught in the shards. Taunts back, runs away, and there really isn't any threat of him dying here.
That's the thing that people don't use too much. First wave glyph.
Yeah.
So you can just mess around with his CS. I'd expect LFY to have a different lanes, have a Warlock and a Faceless Void on top, and have a Brewmaster with the Tusk.
I kind of like this, though. Like, Brew, with Yao behind him, doesn't really fear Mushi and Ninja Boogie here. Can just stand CS, gain that experience, even hit into Mushi. With that Drunken Haze and maybe the crit at level 2, apply that damage as often as possible.
That's true. They're harassing Anti-Mage way more, but Faceless Void is still gonna farm on top lane anyway. Like, Tusk and Brewmaster would put less pressure on Anti-Mage than Warlock and Brewmaster. Mid lane, we didn't talk about the mid lane. It's gonna be pretty much an even matchup, even though I've seen these matchups go into favor of DP if one of the heroes rotate. And perfect hero is a Tusk. You could just block him, have that, okay, bottom lane, 3 stacks, has a Shadow Word ready, 4 stacks, keep counting.
5 stacks, ha ha ha! Ninja Boogie gets the first blood. You were talking about 2v2 lanes with SD, and there it is, clear as day. Shadow Poison, beautiful spell there, stacking up onto the poor little Warlock. And Mushi gets a little bit of time to CS. 6 and 2 now up on the anti-mage. A bit of a struggle, but it'll be fine as the game progresses. It looks like Jab's made a bit of a move onto super mid, not really accomplishing too much. But Clockwork doesn't really have a home in this game. He's wandering around from lane to lane, trying to find some kind of groove to sit in. What is Jab's role this game?
Yeah, I mentioned it during the pick phase that he's going to need to get some help at the top for a Pango. He does not want to steal too much levels from Pango. And now with the Shadow Demon setup, disruption into Cogs and Battery Assault, that's kind of a secure kill, whoever they catch. Mid lane, there's the rotation. Tusk, still kind of lacking damage. They're going to need to have that Prophet hit level 6 and then rotate the Tusk. So they can pressure the tower, which is going to be around the 5 and 6 minute mark when the catapult spawn.
Well, Jabs is going to hide himself away in the trees. Maybe backstab this Yao Warlock. And there we go. Gets his boots, windlace up, traps him inside, and oh, he is in a lot of trouble. Looks like a few more tickles here. Try and give it to the anti-mage potentially. LFY will lose their Warlock. Inflame pops a mango. And Brewmaster should be okay just to stick around and leech some experience, but Mushi's got to be careful about these crits coming in, mate. And Brewmaster is no slouch when it comes to damage.
Every time they have combo from Shadow Demon and Clockwork, that's kind of a secured kill. They just need Clockwork to get level 3 with level 2 Battery Assault. That's going to be way too much damage for anyone to handle. Like, Warlock is level 2, has no boots. Panda has boots. Panda kind of harder to kill because if he's not trapped in the... If he's the one trapped in the cogs, Warlock can heal him up.
Well, Moon, 27-8, starting to get ahead of Super here. Double null on the DP, not working out quite yet. Moon with a Soul Ring, able just to spam out that Breathe Fire. TP from Arfu down to bottom, though. Yao needs a bit of help. Jabs is there. With that Battery Assault and the Cogs. Forces a TP rotation, which potentially opens up things for Ice Ice Ice, grabbing bounty runes as they walk along. It looks like Ninja Boogie has been found, though. A quick TP away and with no stuns available. Arfu too far away for that snowball. They'll move their efforts down towards the AM as they try and focus Mushi a little more.
Chicken is coming to Mushi. He has no region left, but the Ring of Health is coming. So if Panda and Tusk play aggressive on the bottom lane, they could just keep Anti-Mage low enough so he can't farm. I mean, you can't rotate Dragon Knight that early on. He's gonna hit level 6 in the next wave. We're gonna have a Dragon Form and a TP ready. Also, you don't expect Pango to rotate this early, so they can play aggressive on the bottom lane.
Now, you were talking about the level 6 DP having people come to her lane to try and exploit that timing, but it looks like it will be the reversal. Moon, level 6, Dragon Form up, and Jabs with a nice Battery Assault into Cog Trap. They've even brought Ninja Boogie in here to secure the kill. A Banish. Is this okay? The Shadow Poison stacks up, and it will be fine. Ninja Boogie runs out, but Jabs is trapped in. And the Clockwork will pay the ultimate price as he loses his life. And Mineski go for the trade, but of course a DP kill is a DP kill, surprisingly enough. Worth it there for Mineski.
Yeah, DP should call for this kind of a gang because Dragon Knight hits level 6 way before, so you can expect someone else to rotate from the enemy team. He's just TPing back to the tower. Maybe a little bit of misplay.
I think, like, even if he gets trapped in there, there's a snowball coming, right?
Yes.
Maybe wanted to pop his wand, but regardless, Moon is still around in the lane. Down bottom, though, Inflame. Trouble for the Brewmaster. Pops his wand, but the damage is done, and Mushi secures himself a kill on top of the 2 assists he already has, and the CS is starting to rack up. 25 and 6. And sure enough, the Void, who we've ignored for the past couple of minutes, he's had a very quiet time up top lane. 48-6. And Pangolier on 31-0. Ice has hit level 6. This is going to be very important for both of these players in that top lane area. The Void with the Chrono, but I think more importantly for Mineski is this Rolling Thunder from Ice. So he'll heal up and likely TP to a lane to go and find a fight.
Yeah, that's what Pango needs to do. He needs to be active. There's a DP ulti on a mid lane. This is the rotation that I mentioned. Dragon Knight, not sure if they have enough damage. Yep, there is. No cogs.
But in comes Pango. Jab still with no cogs. And Ice will clip onto the DP, still moving forward, but Monet. Chrono! Oh dear. If he gets a lucky bash here, maybe he can find a kill. The shards are good, but the bash over as Ice will find himself stuck between a Void and a DP place.
Even though the ulti did not connect from a Void, they still got a kill, so it's really worth it for them. DK is one of the heroes that's really vulnerable to Tusk and the DP. You can think of, yes, he has a lot of armor, but that's just extra 6 armor at this point, and he gets most of the damage out from the Spirit Siphon anyways.
Not quite from Ninja Boogie. Tries to go for the sneaky disrupt into TP, but Afu is there, ready and waiting. Mana Void onto Yao, not going to be enough to secure that kill. And Mushi has to fall away. I'm a big fan of Monet now. I think Monet's my favorite player. He's realized the optimal chat wheel sound is the ow noise.
Ow.
It's so bad, it's good. Like, it's the worst ow I've ever heard. Ow! It's amazing. Jab's getting a bit of levels up at top. A bit of face time with the creeps there as he closes in on that hook shot level 6. Ice sat behind the DK at this point. He's popped his ulti and he's trying to pressure tier 1. But LFY have done a great job moving these heroes around, the Tusk and the Warlock, but it comes at a price. They are still both level 4.
Yeah, no one buying the tome because it's not 10 minutes yet, Gary. You can't buy the tome before 10 minutes. There you go. You learned something. Panda is level 6, so he uses a split. He can just deal damage to anti-mage, and that's pretty much it. You don't want to use split that defensively early on. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon.
They go in for Ninja Boogie, dispel the illusions, and Shadow Demon with a rotation of a DP, dearie me, all the way forward, find the SD, but she has to come back and defend her tower. Moon has chipped away at it significantly down into deny range, in fact, but Super will come back and defend it nicely as Ice gets away from the Tusk's nastiness.
Oh man, that missed chance. We didn't mention that Brewmaster is one of the better anti-illusion heroes. So you have a Shadow Demon, Anti-Mage who builds into a Manta style, so he can just dispel it during the mid or in the late game as well. Warlock bought the Tome, so it means that he wants to get to level 6. Tusk is level 5, which means that he's gonna get his levels anyway. This is the rotation again. DP has ulti.
The tower's already dead though. Moon's done his job, and, well, a quick banish back. I'll hold Afu in place for a little while.
Tome is flying.
Has to run back, but Yao doesn't have enough mana. Even if he hits level 6 here, he doesn't have the mana for the ulti. And Inflame, with his ulti down, does get caught. Looks like Shadow
Brewmaster?
Shadow Leah, the Pango Shadow, the Ice, gets involved, helps out Mushi's anti-mage. For some reason I thought Ninja Boogie was nearby, but he is in fact sitting mid with the hook shot forward. Jabs, trap Super inside, so even with the miss of the hook, they grab the target they wanted. Yao is here to heal and save the day though. Super kept up and running. Moon turns to fight, faces the Tusk, and Afu, trapped inside the bubble, will try and chase down the Clockwork, but I think Jabs might just be out of here. Shards are up in 3. Observer Ward placed down, but they think he's gone south or east or elsewhere, but Jabs is holding the high ground with a TP scroll ready to go. And again, rotations forced by Mineski. LFY spending a lot of money moving around this map. And you've got to say, the space creation that Mineski are accomplishing here, it's crazy how well this anti-mage is being allowed to survive in lane, even with the heroes LFY have to deal with him.
Yeah, they are driving a lot of attention from anti-mage. They want to make something happen. There's no tier 1 tower, so Faceless Void could not TP there and use the Chrono, which would be perfect. Now they're trying to make a move on Pango, but that's a hard kill to get unless he gets the chrono.
He fake pumped it. He started the animation, but it was the same, kind of the same frame as Ice started at the swashbuckle back. So it was a good cancel there. Monet realizing what was happening, but right now Ice wants in. Rolling Thunder, trying to get into battle.
Again, he's just buying time. Delaying the push, Anti-Mage is pressuring the bottom lane, not farming too much when there's a Panda nearby. LFY needs to play around the Panda's blink timing. Okay, he TP'd bottom. Faithless Void wants to get a kill. If he gets next to the wave, he's gonna die. Okay, oh, nice movement from Mushi. He knows something is up.
Yeah, Jab's moved up. They've got Observer Wards down. They don't see the Void. They've rocket flared, and they have vision of them. They pretty much knew that the Void had either moved back to farm jungle or he TP'd bottom lane. Absolutely great movement there by Mushi back into the jungle to farm his own camps. But Mineski have also set themselves up for a few heroes up towards this top lane. A quick D-ward there from Ice. Try and give them that nice little safety of Fog of War, but LFY bring the numbers again. There's 4 heroes up here defending their tier 1. As bottom being shoved by Monet will grab them.
Yeah,
first tier 1.
That ward was about to expire, so it does not mean too much. This one is the new ward from LFY.
Are they starting a fight?
Oh, Panda is so vulnerable to a hero like a Clock because he can't get the split off. He's the only hero caught in the cogs and battery assault running.
That right there is a classic Ice move. He knows that LFY are moving back. LFY don't know he's coming, but he just plays this little area here to show them a taunt, just to throw them off guard a little bit. Do I have 3 heroes behind me? Well, you'll never know until you run at me. It's always that difficult choice. Do we take the Ice bait? He is such a king of getting in and out of sticky situations. And Monet's Void does fall back from bottom lane, but only for a short while. Looking for that bottom rune. Bringing Super into the fight as well, but Mushi, we've talked about space creation and the way that Mushi's been moving around this map. He has stayed in lane for a good 12 minutes and then has suddenly decided that it's not safe for him anymore. He knows the Void with Mask of Mana's Chrono is able to potentially solo kill him in that duration, and Mushi is just off map. He is not involved.
Yeah, whenever he feels threatened, he just puts power treads on strength. He even decided to go for the strength talent, which could keep him alive in the Chronosphere, unless he scores a couple of bashes. He's going for a Shadow Blade next item. We don't see too many clashes. Mineski knows that their lineup is not really strong at this point, so they're just trying to delay as much as possible.
I mean, Ice has single-handedly kept this tier 1 alive, and he will single-handedly remove its life
2
from
more
the
hits
map as well. No
That's
gold.
0 gold.
Nil. Nada. He's got himself a nice little soul ring. Hook shot. Hello. Who's this? In flame. That's a battery assault. That's a problem.
You're not splitting, buddy.
I mean, you called it. You said it 30 seconds ago, a minute ago. Brewmaster inside cogs. Not a happy man.
I've seen Brewmasters, when they're playing against the Clockwork, that they go for 4-step first item, which is not bad. Like, he could have survived there, used the split, and they could go for a fight. Also, interaction between Cogs and Pango's ulti. That's insane. Like, you can go into the Cogs and it will just keep bouncing. You're perma-stunned. You can't do anything.
Oh, God. That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, but it's hard to get in. He needs a Blink Dagger or he needs to jump in with the shield crash.
Oh, Monet just time walked. It will be off cooldown in a second, and I don't think Mineski have the chain stun. No, they don't. Hook shot on cooldown, and even then, their stuns are kind of lacking here. Monet with a pretty free route. Gets himself out of dodge. Shadow Blade very nearly done. Your Scepter looks complete for the DP. And this is where LFY start to fully get into the swing of things. It's AM Battle Fury timing, so he will be focused on farming quite significantly the next 3-4 minutes. And Monet not quite going to latch on there. Keeps the chrono in his pocket.
More like 30-40 minutes if needed. They're just doing such a good job evading LFY. LFY wants to fight. They have a Blink Dagger on Brew They have DP ulti ready Chrono, but they can't find any openings. So you're ending up with the hero like a Warlock who does not farm. He's just standing there. That's it. Like, you need to start a fight, but there's the anti-mage. On the other side of the map, creep skipping. You have Pango who clears the whole way with his 2 spells. So now it's going to be maybe a lot easier to set up kills with the Shadow Blade pickup on a Faceless Void. And now the counter smoke comes from Mineski.
This really is so clinical from Mineski. They're playing that classic, you know, ping pong or tennis strat, right? You know, you push them to one side of the map, you drag them to the other, you make sure that they're sweating and they're aching, and now they're going to pay for their crimes here. Monet does get the time walk off through the battery assault, turns with a Chrono, 1-3. Do they have the follow-up, though? In comes Tusk, but there's no Warlock, and Shadow Demon will pay the price. Moon and Jabs both looking to fall away, and in comes Yao, looking for the Fatal Bond's rock to drop, but there's no real targets to go for. Moon has been caught by the Primal Split, but in comes Ice Ice Ice, keeps the rest of them at bay. The back lines of LFY with Monet unable to catch up to the rest of Mineski. Maybe they'll take down Moon's Dragon Knight, but he's tanky, and he's difficult to kill. Moon, are you going to fall here? Pops the wand, he keeps himself up and running, but he will finally fall. It took so much, though. So much. 2 ultis from LFY. Sure, they hold on to Exorcism and that Chaotic Offering, but they only get a DK, and look at what's happening on the map. What are Mineski gaining from all that time and space?
If you look at the advantage just went from 1k to 2k on side of Mineski, because Anti-Mage is just splitting the map. He does not want to be in those fights. Yes, he's gonna TP, use ulti on someone who has a low mana, get a return kill, continue farming, but they should have got the kill on Void there. Cogs were not used. That was the extra time that they needed. He time walked and was pretty much full HP, used Chrono after that.
It was a pretty tight window, and hook shot from Jabs, again, uncharacteristic, off the mark there from the Clockwork. We did just see, though, the Warlock drop ulti on a solo Pangolier, and that is the, not desperation, but that's the level at which LFY are kind of, you know, breaking now. And we will pop our ultis to get solo kills as long as it gets us somewhere on this map. And Tier 1 mid would be a lovely little thing to grab for the Chinese squad, but it's been a difficult endeavor so far.
When you're playing against the Anti-Mage, you're always kind of forced to do something which makes you make mistakes. Like, you want to make something happen. You're not going to get this late game against Mineski's lineup. You're playing against a Shadow Demon, so you need to catch a Shadow Demon, otherwise he's going to save people in the Chronosphere. And there's always a fear of Anti-Mage just going ham in the late game. What are you looking at, Gary?
Anti-Mage. I was making sure that we have food and water for us.
Thank you.
Our food is coming, Lacoste.
Thank you very much, Gary. You know how much I love food, even
Absolutely.
though my body weight would not say the same.
You're going to build up some fat.
Yeah. So, Ice going for Crimson Guard, or just the casual Vanguard, which is going to mitigate a lot of damage from DP ulti and right clicks from Panda and Faceless Void as well. Are there any big items? Tusk trying to get his Blink Dagger up, which is a great save capability, or great gank setup.
BKBs on the dire side, it looks like. I mean, Brew is going Vlad's, which is pretty indicative of how LFY feel right now, is desperation. They want to try and get stuff done as soon as possible, but it's the DP and the Void BKBs that really are going to be the big payoffs as the game progresses. Mineski looks like they're setting up for a fight bottom, though. They'll start with a Rolling Thunder, but the blink back dodges the stun. Inflame gets himself.
He's just forcing enemy to TP, so they know 3 people are here. Faceless Void can score a solo kill on Anti-Mage if he gets the couple of the bashes, but Anti-Mage kind of farming safely. Maybe I spoke too soon. There's a Chrono ready. 1 hit, Chrono on the edge of it.
Oh, disruption, though. Turns it back. Do they have the punch? They do, but the hook shot forward and Mushi's out. Ice, 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 Jabs, and Ninja Boogie. Everyone, Moon has arrived. The bloody kitchen sink is playing Dota at this point for Mineski. Moving forward and looking for Monet. They've saved Mushi. That's a big check mark in that box. With the golem drop, though, it might be trouble for them. The follow-through damage not quite available, but they've saved Monet. So both LFY and Mineski keeping their pos ones alive. And Jabs takes a love tap to the back of the neck there, but no follow-through. But this is the position that LFY are in. They make a move, they get countered, and they don't have that map maneuverability to get themselves into position to follow through.
Little things, Jerry. Faceless Void did not hit from a Shadow Blade. He wanted to cast Chrono on the really edge of it so Tusk can snowball, follow up, because he can't go in the Chronosphere, of course. Which gave Shadow Demon enough time just to save him. Instant smoke, they know Chronosphere is down for more than a minute. They want to make something happen. They're just playing around the timings. We go back to the picks that LFY has. The boat support, they don't provide any kind of control. So you have this Pango who's just cutting the waves. You have Anti-Mage doing the same thing. And also, we didn't talk about the Dragon Knight. Like, Dragon Knight is 0-2-1. So this game does not have too many kills. But he's farming up. He's going to have a BKB pretty soon.
Yao facing off against Ninja Boogie, but you look in the back and Alfu's gone. He's dead. The Fatal Bonds are there, but Yao dead to Anti-Mage and Ice bouncing back and forth. The rocks have paid off massively. Super has the ulti going, but the Ghosts have no targets to flow onto. And Mineski once more come out on top as LFY unable to expend their ultis for any kind of objective. No kills, no teamfight win, no towers. And you have to really worry about their progression in this game because they need to cycle these ultis, at the very least throw all of them in and wipe Mineski off the face of the map. But they're getting closed in. You watch the map the past 5-6 minutes. Sure enough, LFY have crossed the river every once in a while, but the line drawn in the sand by Mineski is just ever so slowly reaching that dire base, and the map that you have to utilize here from LFY is diminishing quickly. Moon, he is being sucked here by Super, but the jump forward from Jabs catches the DP. The Super DP is dropping low, but the final killing blow will not arrive. Jabs is trying his damnedest to get in there, but with a turnaround snowball and a BKB from Super keeping him alive from Ice, there's the silence, goes for the TP. Is he able to get away? Of course he is. He's Ice, bloody Ice.
He had the shield crash damage reduction. Meanwhile, there is Anti-Mage who just keeps splitting the map. He's going for a BKB, what it seems to be. So he can be controlled by pandas. I maybe wanted to suggest a different kind of item for him. That's a double damage. Anti-Mage blows him up.
Oh, I mean, I thought LFY were going to do okay there with a big ulti from Yao, but it's not enough. In comes Ice. Apparently his ultimate has no cooldown whatsoever. Jumps with a swashbuckle and kills him off. Oh, Monet. That was a tasty one if he went for that chrono, but Pangolier is all over the place in this game, causing problems left and right for LFY. And with Roshan alive, you can only expect Mineski to feel pretty secure.
Man, Mushi is playing so well. His reading the enemy movement is so good. It also comes down to Ice's Pango, which draws a lot of attention and gives away where the enemy heroes are. He's going straight for a basher. I wanted to suggest maybe a Vanguard first, just so he can tank up, and he's not gonna die with the Vanguard, even in the Chronosphere.
It's gonna be absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. Monet's inside the Roshan pit. Rocket Player scouted it.
They need to do something, but they can't find any openings. Did they just smoke up? Nope. They're bloody naked.
I guess if you're moving around the map and you can't find, a natural opening, you have to force one, right? And Roshan is a great funnel point for teamfight ultis to force the issue. But I think Mineski looking for a steal here. They're not looking for a fight. They're not looking to contest. They're looking to go in and steal. And in comes Ice with the hook shot forward. Roshan's dead. Nice chrono though. Monet will take the Aegis to the Immortal, but it's snatched away. The kill went the way of Mineski, and Mushi's moving in. They'll take down the Warlock, and the Primal Sprint is trying to get into the Anti-Mage with the Cyclone up, and the bash onto Moon. The DK's in trouble. Even through his BKB, he's being right-clicked down. Monet's physical damage proving to be a little too much here for Mineski, and he will will lose his life, but Mushi's still alive. The
they're gonna get
scary
Ninja Boogie as well.
Anti-Mage is still alive. You are right, Ninja Boogie will drop. And Roshan, of course, going to Radiant, but grabbed by Dire. Monet with that Aegis still in hand. LFY, that's maybe not a sigh of relief, but that's something. That's step A. You've accepted your faults, you found a way to deal with it, and they get something done.
So close from a disaster. If someone picked up the Aegis there, it was a good attempt. You have vision from Clockwork Rocket and Pangolier, who can just jump in the Roche pit, but great chrono as well. Also buyback from a Clockwork. He already used the Hawk Shot, so there's no need for him to buy back. That was not good.
It really did feel to me that Mineski didn't want to fight around the Roche pit, and you know, Mushi was bottom lane, they had someone pushing at middle. I thought they would just go for the Pangolier, you know, jump in, steal, try and grab, and if it doesn't work, then whatever. But that fight felt a little awkward. Sure enough, there's a couple of ultis on cooldown from LFY, but still, a relatively scrappy one there. They will, however, find the Brew. Dead for 50. Primal split up in 20. Mineski, an opening here for a tier 2 middle.
They don't have the Chrono. Chrono is their tool to kill Anti-Mage, but they're not catching him. So he's really... his items, look at him. 17,000, almost 18. And you have a Shadow Demon behind you with level 4 Disruption.
Going into Butterfly next as well. LFY hiding back in their base. Scouted by the Rocket Flare. And Jabs does have that hook shot. And Monet will scout him out with a quick time walk up onto the high ground. Here come the DK illusions though. Sent forward by Ninja Boogie, bit of damage in there. Fake it out, blink it back as well. And Monet will have to deal with those DK ulti illusions as the tier 2 down to 69 HP. Very nice. It will lead to a deny though.
Anti-Mage getting close to the Butterfly, which is gonna mitigate the damage coming out from Faceless Void. Evasion does not work against the Exorcism, even though it's a physical damage. For those who don't know, you can't evade the ghosts.
But damage block does?
Yes, it's physical damage block does.
Ninja Boogie. Oh, there's a Yule Scepter. That from the DP. Sure is. And Shadow Demon taken down. How did Pango die? Was that a Chrono, I assume? Yeah, a Chrono from Monet to take out Ice Ice Ice. That's a signal of intent, if anything. Just like, dude, Ice, calm. Just calm down. Stop taunting. Stop getting up in our faces. Stop mucking around with our team fights. And Monet, for a minute and a half, of course, doesn't have that ulti. But the rest of LFY do. The full arsenal minus Chrono is ready. And I feel like they want to try and make something happen up here. They've got a smoke on Yao. And they want to try and move themselves into a position where they can maybe catch the Anti-Mage as Monet loses the majority of his mana to try and retreat away from Jabs and Mushi.
That's a full fly. Faceless Void needs to keep up with the items. Anti-Mage at this point is staying one step ahead, and it's always good to play like that. You know that he's gonna go for MKB, but after that you still have one more item to go for. You can just tank up with the Heart, with the Scotty, whatever you want. I mean, you can just build a full Abyssal Blade just to tank up with that, or you can just go for the AC. AC is a good choice this game because of all the armor that it provides. Now they're starting to catch up. LFY is doing a good job just defending their towers and getting a return kills.
They do lose the Aegis, though. I mean, it was going to expire in 30 seconds anyway. So not a massive loss, all things considered. And Ninja Boogie with these anti-mage illusions, helping him out. Get some farm for the Shadow Demon. That's really nice stuff there, isn't it? SD farming ancients, thanks to the AM illusions. But how does Mineski end this game? That's the worry I have. Sure, you have this big fat anti-mage. You've got a DK to hit towers. But going up against LFY, all of these ultimates hold high ground very well, hold Roshan very well. What is that, you know, win condition, for lack of a better word? What is that opportunity that Mineski needs?
Keep splitting. Wait for LFY to make a mistake. They miss a chrono. They miss that profit ulti. They use a split. They're just gonna play. Look at this. So Brewmaster is forced to pop a BKB.
Did you see that? Did you see the whole movement? Mushi pops Manta here, sends his hero and an illusion over here, faking those two illusions, and then he sends the other illusion this way, and they chase the other illusion.
I love your drawings, Gary.
He pops BKB on Brew, but he also nearly chronos on the Void as well. That was so close to being gorgeous.
Yeah, told you. They're just waiting for LFY to make mistakes. Because they have big ulti cooldowns, and they can't fight if they don't use them.
And now Inflame is in all sorts of bother. Sure, they got the Chaotic Offering with the Fatal Bonds on top, but the Inflame Brew gets the Primal Split off with the Chrono here. It's huge for LFY. The damage is flowing through as Mushi tries to take down the Tusk, but Snowball back and Moon will drop. With the Golem going, they're dealing with illusions and they're dealing with Clock. That will be a 2-0 so far for LFY. Arfu chased by an illusion, but Mineski a little bit too ballsy there, as they thought they had a quick, swift dispatch on the Brewmaster, but it turned out to be something altogether different.
Yeah, good chrono again. He has a Silver Edge, didn't use it this fight, but it's great against a hero like an Anti-Mage, which breaks the Spell Shield or Dragon Knight's armor. Shadow Demon even decided to go for Ether Lens, so he can cast the disruption from further away, keep his allies safe. Monet trying to find a kill. He's gonna find the Shadow Demon, and he knows that he does not have disruption ready.
He wants the Anti-Mage so badly. Ice, Spirit Siphon there. Mushi aggressive, moves in, forward, onto Super, nearly dead. A couple more hits, but the Snowball's there. Arfu keeps Super alive, and the Spirit Siphon moving forward. I don't think his life was going to last any longer. Swiped down by Anti-Mage, and Mushi moves on for more. A double kill as he takes down Yao. Inflame BKB, but what does it do for him? That's not going to be his day. A triple for Mushi, looking for the Ultra, chasing forward deep into the Dire base. That's not the Mana Void he was looking for, but he should still be able to grab this kill if he blinks forward and catches Inflame, but no, Mushi slows it down. The pace must be brought to the acceptable point where they can push tier 3 and be comfortable with their maneuvers.
It's hard for them, for LFY to fight. This game could be over pretty quickly. If they use all their ultis in the next fight, this game could just be over. One buyback, you commit to a chrono, you commit to an exorcism. They can just either run away or buy back and still take a fight. So 0 ultis at this point. Void ready in a second.
Does Mushi care though? That is the big question. Sitting on 2,000 HP on Agi Treads. Butterfly, of course, we've already seen what that can do. And a blink away from Moon gets him not only out of the Cyclone, but the upheaval as well. LFY trapped in their base. Tier 3 dead. Shrines are open. And Mineski in an amazing spot right now, especially with a double damage rune spawning at bottom. Is that DK going to grab it, or where's Mushi's miles away? I think he's going to try and shove out top lane and get that equilibrium shifted across to the top tier 3. But double damage rune here for Mineski could be a quick in and out play if they find a target.
Yeah, Mushi is level 25 now, so minus 50 mana void cooldown. That means 20 seconds. He kind of lacks mana to cast all of his spells. Twice.
Brewmaster is going for MKB. I find that quite interesting, seeing as he is very rarely hitting people with his normal hero.
Well, I guess they just lack damage. If Anti-Mage blinks in, they want to have something else to hit that Anti-Mage and try to bring him down. I guess that's the reason why. Also, does Clockwork have? No, he does not. So, gem picked up by a Shadow Demon. They want to get rid of all the vision before they take a Roche fight. Hard for Mineski to fight into the Roche pit unless they get the Pango in, and he's in.
Oh god, he is as well. Snowball buys a bit of time here, but Pango's just boinking it around. Monet's forced to BKB, time walks forward with the Chrono ready, but the Golem onto jabs and ice. The Fatal Bonds is splitting that damage around, but here's the Chrono, does catch onto the DK with a Silver Edge hit, but the Banish is there, and Ninja Boogie saves the day, while Mushi, he is absolutely calm and relaxed, jumping forward aggressively, playing on the ramp. He just has no fear, absolutely no care in the world, and Brewmaster forced to split after his BKB defensively, and I don't know if he survives here, honestly. He doesn't. Uses both of his key items and abilities and still dies.
And now all the ultis are on cooldown. Faceless Void tries to focus full duration BKB on a Pango. Like, you're not killing that guy. He has Guardian Greaves, Vanguard, and he had a couple of stacks from a shield crash. So you're literally not dealing damage to him. Anti-Mage. Ooh, man. Like, I was about to finish my sentence. Pango goes in, just bounces off the walls from the pit. There's nothing they can do. He kept the Faceless Void low enough so he can't play aggressive. Also, Faceless Void needs to have a vision of a Shadow Demon in the fight.
But yeah, like when you said Pango had gone in, I was kind of like, why? How, like, really? Like, Anti-Mage was here. Mineski was split with like 2 heroes here and 2 heroes here. And they go in. And thinking about it, you know, kind of retroactively figuring things out, it makes so much sense for them to do that, because if they send Pango and Clockwork in, that's so much disruption and annoyance and disable, and usually you link disable and damage, right? You want to disable people to damage them.
Yes, well,
but
you can't really go into a team fight like that, because you're playing against the Clockwork, Shadow Demon, Illusions, Poison, which means that you're gonna have a lot of vision, so you can't take the Roche that quickly.
Yeah, and then it allows Anti-Mage to push out another wave middle and blink into the fight after, you know, a number of spells have already been expended, after LFY have scattered to the wind. Solo pickoffs are there available for Mushi as well, and they had to use Chrono on a DK. I think Mineski are just, you know, from start to finish, not only their micro movement, you know, kind of individual movement in a small area on the map has been spot on, like that Roshan fight, but you mentioned earlier, Mushi's map movement, the macro movement, the pushing of lanes, the maneuverability of these heroes has been spot on.
Ah, look at this. This is a space and time you don't want to get caught in if you're LFY.
In comes Pango with a 2-man stun. Now Mushi ready to go, but the snowball back onto the AM will buy a bit of time. They've got a Chrono ready, but Monet!
He jumps out!
Monet, I would call GG right there. That is pretty atrocious, honestly. Super's in trouble. The Manta from Mushi, he's got himself a good position deep in behind the racks here, and he'll find the void. The snowball safe, buys the time, and Monet is out. Barely survives. Now the AM does get caught, but the disruption is there. Saves the day as the DK up in the air from that cyclone of brew. Mineski are losing lives here. They've taken down jabs as LFY will look towards Moon. Cheese in hand will be able to pop himself back up to full. Super is a decently healthy hero here as well, as Anti-Mage respawns full HP, full mana, full determination to rip apart LFY from inside out, and he's doing exactly that. Arfu, LFY in flame, Super and Monet, 5 heroes around the AM, and what happens? 2 of them die.
Yeah, even if they caught AM in that Chronosphere, he still had the Aegis, so that's not the play to go for, but they are creating a lot of chaos and they're forcing you to make mistakes. They're just on top of you, burning your mana. You're forced to do something. They only lost one side, which is pretty great for them. They managed to still get a couple of return kills. Faceless Void is getting close to level 25, so that could be the changing point. If somehow he can catch, let's say, Shadow Demon +1, Shadow Demon Anti-Mage, that would be ideal for them, and just try to burst through the Anti-Mage. But Anti-Mage goes for this heart, which is going to give him survivability.
I just think the beautiful thing is that, sure, LFY only lost one side of ranks, but that was losing one side of ranks with all of your ultis ready, right? That was, you know, optimal timing for them to take a team fight, holding high ground with ultis, and they still lose out significantly. I worry now, if LFY move out of the base and find a team fight, use their ultis, maybe for the next Roshan, maybe for something to go and play aggressively on an opponent tier 2, what happens then when their ultis are on cooldown and Mineski decide to play aggressively back into this dire base? What will happen? Honestly, they're going to lose their entire base. All their buildings will crumble.
Probably, yeah. They're going to have one more fight, maybe 2. They need to use this Chronosphere right. They need to catch Anti-Mage and Shadow Demon probably in it. Or go in with the Panda, control the Shadow Demon, and try to go for an Anti-Mage. Even though Anti-Mage still has a buyback at this point. So he can sell Power Treads, have a buyback, buy Boots of Travel. He does not have enough gold yet for it, but he's going to have in the next minute or 2. So this Panda...
He's got no mana left. In jumps jabs. They want to try and scrap on this bottom top ramp in flame. BKB and his primal split intact for now, though. Mineski did expend hookshot as well as the mana void. We'll be back up in a second, though, for Mushi at the very least. But again, you look at the way that the map is heading. This line, the eastern front, LFY are not allowed to escape the base. They've got nowhere to farm. They're dealing with super creeps bottom lane, tier 3's missing mid lane. Whereas Mineski, they're just farming everything. Their net worth is skyrocketing. The Dragon Knight, who is in, what, 4th or 5th spot net worth-wise, is now in 3rd, ahead of the DP.
Yeah, he even went for 2 times Dragon Blood in the HP region instead of the gold. So even if he decided to go for the gold advantage would be a lot higher at this point.
And he just finished off a full Orchid. He's got AC, Blink, BKB, fair enough. But an Orchid now against a Void, against potentially just even a Warlock, right? You stop the Fatal Bonds and Chaotic Offering, and it's massive.
Anti-Mage has Arcane Rune and
when you
double damage.
When you pinged it, I was like, oh, he's got an Arcane Rune. And then I realized very quickly that he's got an Arcane and a DD as Monet is blown up, buyback ready, pops it immediately. Now Yao has to run away. Super and Inflame trying to hold the line. But this is a dangerous, dangerous spot. The buyback on Void, if he dies now, the game will literally end. The throne will fall. Mineski know this all too well. Holding high ground, keeping vision in with illusions, and they've got a wave in that dire base, waiting for the mid to arrive as they just continue farming and keeping themselves going. Well, Mushi can swing up to top lane if he wants to.
They're not in a rush. Anti-Mage can still buy a couple of more items. Dragon Knight has more slots, and if they catch Faceless Void, Faceless Void, they're smoked. They're just blinking away. That's it.
Is Moon okay? Oh, hello. Sentry down there. D-ward and ward yourselves. As Moon looking to try and keep this bottom wave in as far as possible. Ninja Boogie, a very aggressive D-warding by himself, does pop the disruption. And maybe a bit of an illusion juke. A blink away, in fact. As they hit an illusion, hookshot lands onto DK. Unfortunate for them, but they've killed the SD. Now Warlock in trouble. Drop to an into his life, but he gets the rock. Drops it, in fact, on top of the 2. Now the death one as well. Ice and Moon both getting stunned up, but the damage isn't there. And in the meantime, Inflame, he's got himself the primal split out onto jabs, but it's Anti-Mage, Mushi in the back lines. Kill Super, the buyback from DP arrives, but you're losing another lane of racks. You've popped ultis and gained very little. Void Chrono is still ready, but Monet has no targets to jump onto. He's going to move up towards top and look for the AM with a quick Yule Scepter there. Mushi's held in place for a second, but he just blinks away.
Yeah, Mushi blow up DP before the fight even started. Now she's forced to use the Exorcism. Bought back. Faceless Void can't land a good chrono. They're just splitting the map. Mineski's playing perfect at this point. Even though they lost 4 heroes. Like, they lost 2 sides, and they have no buyback on Faceless Void and DP, which are cores.
It's all about this next Roshan, but 2.5 minutes Lacoste. That is demoralizing. I mean, LFY don't know, but we know. And it's demoralizing for us watching, even if we're impartial observers. That hurts to see. That's LFY's, one big chance to come back and swing the momentum of this game. A 20k net worth lead for Mineski. A 0 XP lead for Mineski, though, as LFY have managed to get a couple of kills in the past few team fights. But Aegis and Cheese really would have been the big bonus there for LFY.
Do you have Dota Plus?
Yes.
Yes, well, you should have. You need it because of how you play. So what's the percentage that Dota Plus says? That it's a 97, right? Maybe 98.
95.
95, all right.
You need some glasses, mate. I'm shit at Dota. Sure.
No, I was looking at the graph.
Blind. No, it's super cool they have the numbers down in the bottom left as well. The graph is a visual aid. But yeah, it's close to 100%. 2 lanes of racks down. Anti-Mage, 16,000 net worth ahead of the Void. I mean, that's a pretty substantial amount.
That's more than
money.
15,000.
It's huge.
He bought a gem for his team is gonna have enough to buy Moonshard and the buyback.
He's got enough to kill off Afu before he gets a chance to snowball. Let's see. LFY are moving down towards bottom lane. They know that there are 4 heroes all around this triple camp area. Hookshot will come forward, trying to catch. Disruption there by the time, but Monet BKBs. Moon jumps forward, looking to try and take down Yao, and does succeed. There's the Chrono, though, in onto 2. The AM's being focused. Damage being done. Is it enough? Yes, Mushi, no! Manta blinks away. He's barely found the space. Jabs has got the nice battery salt there, but the promise split will arrive. And Jabs has to run himself back and away. But Monet, that Chrono was meant to be do or die. They've not died just yet, but it's getting pretty bloody close as Mushi is back to full HP with the heart and the spirit vessel going. He's ready to jump in for more.
Yeah, that Guardian Greaves kept him alive there. Panda, does he have one more spirit? They have 0 ultis right now. They can't fight. Anti-Mage is full.
I'm putting my camera on the Anti-Mage, mate. I don't think I'd need to do anything else. I'm going to take my hands off the mouse and keyboard. This is the Mushi show. Tier 3 top lane, melee
Pull up
ranks.
your pants, Gary.
I don't want to. I'm
Bash.
comfortable. There we go. Break on the AM, but Void is gone. Dead for 2 minutes. No buyback available. Afu and Super trying to get the job done onto Mushi, but he's on 1/3 HP, which is still 1500 with 29 armor. It's not going to happen. LFY, they are done in this game, it looks like, as Mushi is beyond godlike, unkilled, 15-0-7. Super with his BKB is running back and forth, wondering what to do. He's a headless chicken. He can't go anywhere. Isosize is there with a stun, and a golem drop for good measure, but GG is called. LFY tap out, and Mineski claim the victory.
Yeah, it was about time. They were just being outplayed. We can go back to the draft where they lacked control. This is why Anti-Mage was such a good pick. They needed that ultimate carry, and they were evading fights. I gotta give props to Mushi, man, this game. He died 0 times.
Flawless.
Against the Faceless Void. He jumped out of the Chronosphere a couple of times, Manta dodges. He was splitting the map. If you want to learn how to play Anti-Mage, you just download this replay. You're pressured in the lane. And he had a good vision, also from his teammates, good scouting with the Rockets. Also, gotta give credit to Isosize, who was providing so much info about where they're moving. When they try to go on him, he just rolls back.
16-minute Battle Fury, 22-minute Manta, 26-minute Basher. I don't like throwing the word flawless around, Lacoste, because I think, you know, a flawless performance literally has to mean you made no mistakes. And usually we apply that to having 0 deaths because that's the easiest correlation we can make. It's like he died 0 times, flawless game. But I genuinely think every move Mushi made was perfect. Like, for that game anyway, it was just spot on. He cut creep waves. He farmed in the opposite side of the map to where the opponents were. You do have to put some of this on his teammates, of course, the way they created space for him. But superb. Absolutely superb performance from Mineski. Mate, I'm sweating.
Yeah, this was, as mentioned, Mushi, man. Those, he read the game so well.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
You mentioned his Anti-Mage with, what was it? Ethereal Blade. Yeah, it did not happen because...
Thank God. He carried this game. I mean, speechless. Mushi, God. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Mineski, well played, well drafted. Execution was spot on. LFY, you know, showing signs of life. Very focused on their teamfight ultis. They weren't able to really get the job done. And Monet, a few, well, I don't know what word to explain the chronos, but awkward.
Hard game for him because a lot of pressure on him to cast those chronos. If he misses them, they're not winning the team fights.
Heavy reliance on that one spell, always difficult if things go wrong. But we'll take a short break, guys, and we'll start moving into elimination matches as we start kicking people out of the tournament. We'll see you guys in just a little bit.